Welcome to the Tarqaron podcast,
Ooh.
your center for all things fashion. All right, we're talking fashion today. We're talking fashion today.
Fashion. We're fashionistas now. That's what we are.
We should just have that would be kind of. I just randomly came up with this. Not probably not a great idea, but just random topics we don't know, like we might not know anything about, and it's like we gotta come prepared with like something to talk about related
You have
to
to do a
like
little
a
research
random
about it.
topic. Yeah, it's like
Do some little.
just by random we have to talk about fashion. It's like talk about some fashion topics,
You have
or
black
like
belt and brown shoes don't mix.
or like
Make sure that.
wood carving or random shit like that. Could be interesting. That might be a
Well,
different show, like a
yeah,
hobby
like the
hobby
hobbyist channel, the Tarqaron hobbyist
the
show.
hobby review
Hobby
type.
lobby, hobby.
That's what I was thinking, but hmm. Anyway,
Yeah,
so we're here to
but
talk
yeah,
about whatever we want, really. But
yeah.
probably a lot of it will lean towards Switch 2 type stuff,
I
since
think so.
that's
I think so.
recent
Yeah.
news. But anything else that we want to talk about as well, and then we'll
Hmm.
end it off. Well, we'll at least have a random topic now as a little thing we do. A completely random topic of our little list that we have. And then we will talk about the videos released the last month and read any comments. All right?
Mm.
So, in our time since the last podcast, they released a Switch Direct, a Switch 2 Direct, and a Mario Kart World Direct. All right.
That's right. I've had a lot of stuff going on. I didn't really catch the Mario Kart World Direct because I'm already sold on that game. I don't need to know really anything else about it. I got pretty much what I needed from the Switch 2 Direct, and I was like, yeah, I'm sold. I want that game.
I was sold too,
Looks
but to
really
be
good.
fair, it's like the big question afterwards was like, well, $80 for Mario
Yeah.
Kart. Is it worth $80? And you go into Mario Kart World Direct, wanting to have some more clarity on that. And I would say surprisingly, it's like the least effective direct I've ever seen. It's like actually had added no new information.
That's
It's just
yeah,
gonna
that
rehash
was
the
kind of
same
what
stuff.
that's essentially what I heard from it too, and I was like, oh, why did they have that then? If they just said the
Yeah, it
same
was so weird.
stuff.
It like actually took away from it almost. Like if you just left it at that, and it's like, oh, there's more stuff to unfold and discover, and be like, oh wow, I gotta get on that. And then it's like, no, we're gonna show you some more stuff here. It's like it's a 15-minute direct. It's gonna be about 15 minutes. All right, well, let's see what they do, and then it's just like the same stuff. The only stuff that they didn't talk about that I can think of was originally were a couple battle modes. Even
Oh,
then,
okay.
that disappointed me because the only ones they showed were the balloon battle and the coin runner.
Okay.
And I'm like, I'll be damned, you gotta give me that freaking Shine Sprite, King of the Hill mode. You know that mode where you have the Shine Sprite and you have to go
Wasn't that Shine? I thought that was called Shine Runners in Double
shine
Dash.
something. Double Dash.
Yeah.
There was a more recent one. I can't
Oh, okay.
remember if it was
'Cause
in.
Mario Kart 8 had a battle mode that was like that. I thought, right?
Yeah, so I was trying to think. I don't remember if it was actually in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's battle mode or not.
Hmm.
If not, it
Well,
was like
they
Mario
added
Kart 7.
actually. They added. They added. Oh yeah, it might have been in Mario Kart 7. You're right. They added some. Because the battle mode in base Mario Kart 8 was really bad. They actually added more of a battle mode to Deluxe. I remember.
Didn't they not have a battle
Um,
mode in Mario Kart 8 or something initially?
no, they did. They did, but it all took place on the track on just the base tracks. They didn't have special maps for battle
Right,
mode.
right. Yeah, it was, yeah.
And it's like, what? Why would you do
And
that?
then, yeah, so this one, I was like, oh, wait, battle mode, I can't wait to see, like, this huge
Yeah.
game. Like, I was not only expecting, like, give me my favorite, that's my favorite mode, is that one. It's the most fun.
Yeah.
I think it was Mario Kart 8, because I do think my girlfriend and I played that one a lot, if I'm thinking of the right one. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
give me that, but also I'm expecting, like, some new wacky battle modes, like at least one or two new ones come in this that maybe more fit this kind of world uh, vibe. But no, nothing. It's
Yeah.
possible like they could be hiding them and like there's more to it. I don't know. But I did notice in the trailer they had on the battle mode how they'll have like a crown over the person who's currently winning.
Hmm.
Um, I noticed on the crown, I don't know if it was always this way, but there's a little shine sprite on the top of the crown, like a tiny one.
Oh,
So I'm like,
oh,
oh,
that's kind of cute.
that's cute, but you gotta give me my shine sprite mode then. You can't tease me
Yeah.
like that. Hopefully, but
Uh,
they did.
um,
The other thing they did show was in free roam that you could. There's like P switches and different little things you can discover. So
oh, okay. So there's like little discovery stuff that you can do
yeah, they said
out in the world.
hundreds of P switches, hundreds.
Okay. Okay.
So we'll see. We'll see. It's like you get a P switch and then you go on this little. You might have to collect blue coins or go through a little
Mm,
goal out there. Because that was the biggest thing. Is like free roam was like so. It's always sounded really fun to me.
yeah.
That was the whole thing with this Mario Kart world. It's like you can drive virtually everywhere. Free roam, you can just go
Yeah.
wherever. But it's like in the
That sounds
initial
pretty cool.
trailer, it was like, but can you do anything? It was like they're just driving,
They're just
hanging
driving around
out.
and hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just something. I don't know if it's like anything you can do with other people though, really, because it just
Mm.
showed like solo, just doing the P switch and doing stuff.
I think they seem to imply that there is stuff that you. I mean, even if it's just driving around together, I don't know. Maybe not, but
But damn, that Switch 2 Direct, like, that was a killer. That's like one of my favorite trailers I think I've ever seen was the Mario Kart World trailer. It's just so
oh,
hype.
it was like the perfect amping up of. I think this is was that something that you said or is that someone else? I don't remember who said that, but it's like it was like the perfect amp. Might have been Arlo said it, but it's like the perfect amping up of stakes essentially because it's like you even been Pete said it. I don't remember, but like you get like the initial part. He's just like, oh yeah, you're racing around, and then each subsequent thing that they showed off was like, whoa, hold on now. It's
Yeah.
like another thing. They're like, whoa, okay. It's like, and then it's like, huh? There's a cow, and then
I
and
love
then
the
when you're trying to,
cow.
and then when you try to get used to the fact that the Moo Moo Meadows cow is a drivable racer, who is grinding, by the way, on a rail.
And I
That's
started
another thing that they
grinding.
are introducing. He started started grinding. He's grinding on a rail, and then all of a sudden you see Mario doing wall jumps on a cart,
Yeah.
and you're just like, "What is happening?
You
This is
gotta see it to
amazing!
believe it.
It's an amazing trailer. It is a really really great
I like how watching
showcase of that
reactions
game.
of it, like, you can't watch that cow and not have a reaction to it.
You can't, you
It's like,
cannot.
it's
The
like
Moo Moo Meadows
cow.
cow,
Wow.
like there's a freaking cow in
Because you
this.
either know it's Moo Moo
Um,
Meadows cow if you're a Mario Kart
yeah,
fan, or you're just
or you're
like,
just like,
cow. That's a cow.
it's just a Mario cow. All right.
It's just a cow on a vehicle. And then, like, as you look more into the trailer and everything, it's like, wow, there's tons of different the
Yeah,
characters you would least expect to be in a Mario
Cataquack
Kart game.
is was
Cataquack.
probably about the last character I expected to be in a Mario Kart game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Is
Cataquack.
Cataquack
Wild.
Cataquack's here? Cataquack, where you get like
Pokey.
Pokey
Weird shit
Spike,
that doesn't make any sense driving a
um
vehicle. Like,
the
what the hell is
the
Pokey
dolphin,
doing?
the goggles
Yeah.
from Super Mario World, which is by the way, I think that's worth memeing too, is the fact that you can ride a cart that looks just like that dolphin. So you could be the dolphin riding the dolphin. That's a little weird.
Yeah.
So,
And the courses look great. They showed a couple
yeah.
more in the direct as well. They're really cool looking.
Okay. I love that Donkey Kong one that they showed. That's probably the coolest one, I thought.
That was the big thing when they initially teased Mario Kart was there was Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong didn't look like the Donkey Kong we've come to know.
Yeah.
And that was where people first saw like, oh, they redesigned Donkey Kong. Is it just for this game or what?
Yeah.
And then we ultimately see that it wasn't just for this game.
Yeah.
But,
He's in Bonanza. Donkey Kong Bonanza.
damn. Can I tell you? Like
Which is
I did a video on this
yeah.
on Zach Archer Games.
Hmm.
And the Switch Direct and the Switch 2 Direct, they were like right up my alley. Like all the games I ever want. Had in the Switch
Yeah.
Direct there was Rhythm Heaven and Tomodachi Life. That's
Hmm.
right for me. And then the Switch 2 Direct had Mario Kart World, Kirby Air Riders, and Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Yeah.
Wow, wow.
Yeah, it was pretty up my alley too. I there was stuff in There's stuff in the original Switch. Oh, well, Metroid Prime 4 showcase in the I will say was not overly like blown away by what they showed at the original Switch showcase cuz get that damn dialogue out of here. Get that out of here. I don't want to hear some guy telling me what then you can go to this place and use the beat. Just show us. We don't need a voiceover for every
Mm,
trailer. This is a problem that Nintendo's had recently, I think. A lot of their more recent trailers, they always have a voiceover explaining what's going on, and you don't need that. You don't need that. You just let it speak for itself. It looks great. The game looks fantastic. You get rid of that voiceover, trailer would be just fine. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, I mean I'm really excited for that game. So
I remember even in the initial Switch Direct, I was like, even outside of Rhythm Heaven Tomodachi Life, which is like Rhythm Heaven, I've been wanting for years. Rhythm Heaven Fever is one
yeah,
of my favorite games ever. Tomodachi Life, I've been wanting for years. It's been over a decade since the 3DS game. It's just such a weird little sim type game. And but then there was other random games in there that are also just interesting to me, like the one with the old guy and his cane jumping around like Ducktales. That game seemed
oh
cool.
yeah, oh yeah. What was that game?
I forget what it's called, but there was a couple random ones. Like they showed Shadow Labyrinth, the Pac-Man weird
Right, the
thing,
Pac-Man game
which
that
we
looked
knew
really
about before, but they just had
that
weird
looked like
little
a
things
pretty
mixed in.
it was a solid little showcase of that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking at the Switch One
I
Direct.
was kind of
I'm
appalled
trying to see the
that on the Switch Directs, my two big
yeah.
games, Rhythm Heaven and Tomodachi Life, are coming in 2026. I was like, whoa, this is weird. That's weird.
Was that really?
Yeah,
Is that really what they? Oh, that is weird.
because we're about to go into a Switch
Oh
2 Direct like a few days
yeah,
later, and then the Switch 2 is obviously coming out this year. It's like very weirdly timed. And from a lot of people I was watching, they had a similar reaction, especially in terms of Rhythm Heaven, because it's like Rhythm Heaven doesn't seem like a game that you would reveal and then it would take still be a year out. Like it's a pretty simple game.
oh, Dragon Quest 1 and 2. That was like that looked great.
Yeah.
The HD 2D. I mean, it looked very similar to the 3 Dragon Quest 3, but seeing them cuz I'm very interested in what they're going to do with the gameplay of those games because those play a little differently than your traditional uh Dragon Quest or game. So yeah, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, Pokemon Legends Z to A looks pretty good. Oh, they went in context now that we know about the game key cards, this Nintendo Switch virtual game cards system makes a lot of sense. Like it makes even more sense now, where it's like a way to share your digital library. Well, with game key cards, that is essentially also a form of digital library in the sense that like it's a way that you can. It's not like a full game on a cartridge. It's like a pass on a cartridge that says you own this game or you have the right to download this game. So this is something that you can share to other people that will like initiate a download essentially.
Mm-hmm. That's Switch
So it's like the
2.
same kind of
Switch 2,
system.
right?
Well,
Was it
yes.
also
Well,
Switch?
in the Switch One, they talked about virtual game cards, where it's like this is your digital
Right.
game
Yeah.
library that you can now share with people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I'm saying with the key card idea, like this, that makes that make even more sense now when they've since they
Yeah.
talked about that. Um,
Anything else from that
uh,
Switch Direct?
oh, Raidou, the Raidou remaster, Kazunahara,
Mm-hmm.
is the Shin Megami Tensei spin-off game.
Yeah.
The game is quite expensive. So it's sorry, Raidou Kuzunoha. I always say the wrong thing, or Kuzunahara or Kuzumaki. I don't know. That's that Devil Summoner game. So pretty cool. because that was a like a has like a real time action battle system, which is kind of neat. Let's see, Disney Villains Curse Cafe. I don't know what. Patapon 1 and 2 coming to the Switch, which are cool. Those are out later than the summer. Witchbrook was something that
Oh
apparently was
yeah,
is like a bit is like a
Witchbrook.
really big deal for cozy game fans because I guess that's been in the making for like a really long time. It like went completely silent for years.
Apparently,
So
yeah. Like when I
yeah,
saw it, though, I really loved that. That was another one that stood out to me. I was like, yeah, I totally would be down for that. And yeah, I had no idea that I heard that too. It was like it was like almost a decade or something that since it was announced. Something
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. It was like quite a while. Oh, for Rusty, they have an Everybody's Golf
Mm-hmm.
showing up on Nintendo Switch, a new one. See Monument Valley. Oh, they also showed us that it's Tamagotchi. That's how you actually say
Tamagotchi.
Tamagotchi.
Yeah, that's no.
No, that's not right.
It's
That can't
crazy.
be.
Everybody who watched it had the same reaction to that too. It's like
Yeah,
that's literally not how anyone's ever pronounced. Has no one ever like if
pronounce
that's
it
how
that
you
way.
wanted it pronounced? No one's ever clarified that in all of this history.
This is it's in the year of our Lord 2025 is
Now
when
we're
we
figuring out,
finally learn how this
and
is
that makes
supposed to be pronounced.
sense because it's like go. It's on the go.
Yeah, it's on the go.
That's what they're
Yeah,
going for, right? I don't
right.
know
I guess
because
so.
Tamagotchi.
Rift of the Necrodancer. So there's a new Necrodancer game coming out, which is cool. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that's about it. That's about it in that. That was like to me the big thing. The Rido thing was like pretty huge because that game is kind of a um it's there's a barrier to entry with that in the sense that like either you have to emulate it, which some people aren't always a big fan of, and can be kind of a pain sometimes depending on your system and your setup. Can be kind of a pain to get running, and then or you have to pay out the nose to get it on PlayStation 2. So it's nice to have like an HD update of that.
Yeah.
There's another AI the Somnium Files game
Yeah.
coming out too, which is cool. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, so yeah, lots of like little niche announcements that I think are fun and cool and neat.
Yeah. So
So
so that was already cool. I was like, all right, man, I'm already
yeah,
satisfied with that. So we got to switch to direct in just a few days at that point. That was unprecedented. And
yeah,
then Mario Kart World. So the last I'll say on Mario Kart World is that I'm actually really annoyed by what they did with the. It was really cool that they revealed the different costumes and everything.
hmm,
That's so awesome. They had so many different costumes for at least the
yeah.
main cast. But then I like you see a gameplay of it, and they have every freaking costume as a separate character on the menu. To the point there's like pages of characters, which is different. It's like so
Is that
clunky
really?
looking. Yeah,
Is that actually how it is in gameplay
like it's
in
possible
practice?
that it would be different, but like what we saw in the gameplay on that direct, it was still that way.
Hmm.
And then in the treehouse, it was still that way. So it's like I don't know, like
Surely there's like an option somewhere to turn that off,
because I
right?
remember seeing it even in the direct. It was like, cause you know, they have the like, it's almost like on an app with different pages. You have the little dots
Yep.
down
Yeah,
there.
yeah. The
It was
dots.
like
Yeah.
10 different dots. It was like just of like 9
No,
characters in
that's
each thing.
silly.
It was just
That's
like
silly. You don't
all
need
cluttered.
that.
But apparently, it's like just the main characters have costumes. That's kind of
Oh, okay.
the one
Yeah.
asterisk.
Well,
So we don't get to have like the
well, yeah. How
weird.
many
Give me like the cow with a costume or the
give Charging Chuck a cowboy outfit?
yeah
That's what I want.
bonefish. Give bonefish some.
Bone.
I don't know. It would have been funny though. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah. So Mario Kart World incredibly hype. We didn't
Yeah.
touch
I'm.
on so there's the whole point of this game is that everything's interconnected. So each Grand Prix, the courses are like connected in a natural way,
Mm,
and you drive from one track to the other for the next race, and then there's also knockout mode as well, knockout tour,
yeah.
which is
I
really
like that a
cool.
lot.
Really cool.
Yeah.
It's battle royale Mario Kart essentially. That's gonna be hype. Like you go
Yeah,
each
that's
checkpoint,
really
you
exciting to
cut
me.
off point people. It'll be hype.
Yeah.
What I'm wondering and what I'm hoping is that you can do private lobbies with knockout mode.
Yeah.
Because I think that would be really hype if you get a big group of people together that you know to do a knockout mode
Yeah.
online. That would be
Like,
cool.
yeah, like whole Discord servers or whatever could do knockout
Yeah,
modes.
that would be hype. It'd
That
be
would be
like
really cool.
to like know everybody and like that guy just got knocked out first, you know.
Mm,
And it's like 24 racers, so
yeah.
someone's gonna be getting 24th place. That's brutal.
That's yeah. Yeah, you thought 12th place was really bad? 24th place is going to feel way worse.
Yeah. But I might. I
uh,
mean, that's the game at launch that you'll have. You'll just be playing Mario Kart,
yeah.
and that is it.
Yeah.
You will just be playing Mario
And
Kart.
and that's fine.
Yeah.
I think they knew that. I think that's also one of the reasons why they charge $80 for it as well.
But so here, that's the question that everybody's asking: is it too much? $80, is that too much? And I don't know. I do think it's too much. I think it's a big Mario Kart. It's gonna be an amazing game. But
Mm,
there's been some massive games with like, and they're talking about that they're going to be doing variable pricing, and so
right.
we're going to be at their whim in every game, whether what they quantify as enough content or a unique enough experience that justifies the price. You know, so like every price they come out with is going to be under scrutiny now. It's like,
Well, I
why is
think
this game this?
Breath of the Wild for 80 is way more egregious than Mario Kart for 80.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
Breath of the Wild for 80 also does not come with the Champions Ballad DLC. You
yeah.
have to pay extra for that
Okay,
on top
great.
of that. That is okay.
Dirty.
Now I get it. I get it. Everybody owns that game already. It is kind of, I mean, it's like basically if you're buying that, it's like you're late to the party, so you're paying out the nose. You can also probably kind of skirt around it a little bit because you can probably pick up a used copy of Breath of the Wild and then pay 20 bones to get the Switch 2 upgrade. Or you could be like me and own the games already, and I'll just get because I have the Nintendo expansion pass,
Hmm.
the expansion pack or whatever, the Nintendo Online Plus expansion pack. I get those for free, and that's cool. Having a nice resolution bump, performance bump, and having. So the thing is like when I first heard that, I was like, okay, that's nice. They have a performance bump. That's kind of cool. But then and like a completely different thing. It wasn't even in the direct. It was like I guess maybe they talked about it in the treehouse, or it was another trailer where they talked about all the different features that they're going to have. And I know a lot of people are kind of like, well, that's stupid, but I was really excited for it. I think it's really
What, the
awesome. I
GPS?
The GPS stuff, the pretty much all the phone app stuff, I was like, I'm there. That's
Wow.
wonderful. I love that. No, I'm like, I'm here for it. I
I'm
thought
just
that was
thinking
so
of like
awesome.
imagine the
Getting like
hassle
journal
it could
entries
be
and
though,
stuff.
to where you have to have a separate phone. Like I feel like that could have been done in game, but you have to have your phone up on the side with the
Well, so
GPS.
to me, it's like that's like having the Sheikah slate. That's like having that like and that speaking to you.
Hmm.
Like to me, I was like, all right. I was like, okay, I'm here. I'm here for it. I know that's a lot. A lot of people are in your camp. I get it. I understand, but I thought it was cool, and it's like I love the like the general vibe and story of that game. I know a lot of people,
Right.
even though that said like the story of Breath of the Wild is not really all that great, but I love the story of that game, and I like any more interactivity that I could have
Yeah.
with that world and that Zelda. Yeah, I'm here for it.
I love
I'm
that
here.
game. I still want to go back to it because there's tons of stuff
Yeah,
I didn't do.
same. My
And
dad's done more in that game than I ever did. So
so I mean, it just didn't move me. The stuff they were saying as added features, it wasn't like, oh, I'm compelled. I need that.
I think
And it
honestly,
did immediately.
the
Yeah,
performance bump is enough. Really, I think.
but I did immediately think when they showed the GPS, I was like, wow, that would have been nice to just have in game because a lot of games just have that,
Yeah,
like
you know,
as a feature. But to have a separate app, like we're still doing the Switch app thing, it's just corny to me.
it is a little corny. Yeah.
But
Um.
so the thing with Mario Kart World is that you can get $450 for the Switch, or you can do the $500 bundle, which comes with Mario Kart World.
Right. Right.
If you want it physically, you have to get the $450 Switch and an $80 Mario Kart World.
Right. Right.
And so now you have people having to deal with, do I want to just pay $30 more just to have the physical or not? And that's annoying.
So, yeah, that is kind of annoying. I also, another thing too about that is I almost wonder if some of the variable pricing there is literally to offset the fact that they're going to be selling the game for essentially a cut price with that bundle.
Yeah.
And so they're offsetting that with like, okay, well, there'll be sales of that game with that version of the system,
Right.
and then there's sales of the game to help continue to boost it. Or maybe they're trying to train us on getting used to digital game sales, because Nintendo fans haven't really had to deal with that as much as like other systems have. I don't know. I'm not sure
But
about
so
that.
when they talk about we're going to do variable pricing as a potential thing moving forward, that's just so worrisome to me because, like I said, every game that comes out, now we have to like decide are we getting enough value for the price we're getting or not? Like, can we trust Nintendo to say, here's a new WarioWare and we're gonna price it accordingly, or are we gonna see, here's a new WarioWare, it's $70, it's not $80. So.
Here's the thing. They've already been doing this. They've already been doing variable pricing.
A little
Metroid
bit,
Prime
yeah.
Remastered, $40. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, $60. Tears of the Kingdom, $70.
Yeah, and they're wrong for that. They were wrong for pricing Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze at full price.
Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, 60 bucks. Mario versus Donkey Kong, 50. That was not full. That was not a full. It was almost full, but that was like another 50. Yeah. So that was they've been doing variable pricing for a few years now already.
Yeah, but most of it is a lot of it is like remastered games is what it tends to be, different prices.
Yes, but that's the thing, and that's the thing with a lot of the pricing that they're kind of announcing for stuff that's coming out is because a lot of the lineup, the early lineup is going to be essentially like not remasters, but like Switch 2 versions of games that are already out, basically. So like we've got Kirby, so they announced stuff with like Kirby and Mario Party Jamboree. And
do we know the prices of those? Do we know the prices of those?
I think if you already own them, it's just like a $10 to $20 bump or whatever.
But what if you're buying the new Switch 2
If you're buying
version?
the new one, I don't know that for sure.
So I'm curious on that.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be 70, probably for both would be my guess.
I mean, it's just a lot. I mean, it's a lot. A lot of people they are priced out of this thing. Like a lot of people can't just dish out $500. It's like $500 if you want to just get the game and have a digital version of Mario Kart World to have one game to play. If you want to get anything else, God forbid you want to Switch 2 camera. I don't know if they released the price of a Switch 2 camera.
So this is more recent news. They did announce a lot of the prices early, but then they kind of rescinded all that because there was a lot of uncertainty with the tariffs and everything going on right now. Prices in China, importing stuff from, because a lot of the technology, even though it's a Japanese company, a lot of that technology is still being imported from China. So there's a lot of uncertainty around that. So they came out recently and were saying Switch to the console, not changing in price. Accessory and games are also not going to be changing in price. Accessories will be going up. So camera, I think, got bumped up a little bit. I think it was $60. I think camera actually might have been one of the ones that didn't go up. Pro controller went up to about $90, I think. There's other accessories basically went up.
God forbid you want a damn controller on launch. God forbid it. And now we're looking at $600+ if you want to get that
pro controller. It's not really. Just get a Switch.
Yeah, there's nothing
special.
Just
use your Switch Pro controller. It's nothing really all that.
But
you get the paddles. You got flappers on the back. That's it.
I like if it weren't for the price of everything, I would like when I get a new system to feel like I got a new something. for
Yeah.
everything. Now, like, I got a new system. Let me just grab my old Switch controller and use that. It'd be like,
Yeah.
I always like getting a new controller with a new system.
Sure.
It's nice, but yeah, it's like if you want to get that, if you want to get a Switch 2 camera, you're talking upwards of $600+ and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
that's insane. And yeah, so and the other problem with how Nintendo handled it was specifically not great because they did the whole Switch 2 Directs, not a price to be seen because they
So I
knew
think
they knew how it would look, and then they
yeah,
revealed it
I don't.
afterwards.
So some of it, I think there is an element of I almost wonder if how much of that was filmed before they even necessarily knew what the price was going to be because of the fluctuations in the
It
market.
was like days later that they revealed the price of everything.
No, it wasn't. It
Yeah.
was the same day. The same day they
Oh,
revealed what the
okay.
price of the
Yeah,
console
even
was. Yeah.
worse. Yeah, even worse. They didn't put it in the direct
Yeah.
because they knew it would take the
But
wind out of the
but
sails.
that's what I'm saying is that when they filmed all that stuff, I don't know if they even necessarily knew.
Doesn't
I mean,
matter.
because the thing is, days later, they also rescinded that. They're like, yeah, pre-orders aren't going up, and actually, we don't know if that's going to be the price anymore.
Right, but you gotta. It's just there was a lack of transparency there, and it was clear. It was evident when they said, "Welcome, Switch Welcome Tour." Switch
Okay, well,
Welcome
that
Tour.
thing's okay. Oh, there's no defending that. There's
They
zero
just slipped in.
defending
Oh, it'll be
that.
a paid digital game. They're not even gonna mention the price, and then we find out it's a $10 instruction booklet for the
Yeah,
system. Wild.
that is insane to
and,
me
and it's
that they're
like,
charging money for that.
we're not gonna show the price because they want people just to be hyped about the games because the games are exciting. But then we'll just we'll slip the little announcement afterwards, and then everybody will reckon with that, and everybody's demanding a response, and they're like, we'll sit on our hands for a while, and they're like, wait, we got a Mario Kart World Direct coming out that'll clear up all your problems, but just wait for that, and then it just didn't have
But
anything.
they were answering questions constantly, pretty much, because well, there's also another big problem is that there was a lot of misinformation going around from people that just made assumptions based on I don't know what. Like there were people for a long time. The $90 physical
$90,
games was going around for a
yeah,
while, and I don't even know where that came from. So,
$90 will come, and it's
yeah,
called Legend of
probably
Zelda.
no. It's
Fucking open world. Fuck.
no. It's called Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be $100. I almost guarantee that that game is going to be $100 at launch. So,
When is Grand Theft Auto 6 slated to come out?
later this year, I think, or early
They
2026.
they can't do it to us because is that precedented? What other PlayStation like 5 games have been higher
They're
than
70.
80?
They're 70.
Or
No, they're all 70. Basically, they've been that way.
we
The
don't do
thing is
variable
that
pricing outside of Nintendo.
right,
We
but the
gotta
thing
just
is,
give us
most of them are 70. Yeah, but the thing is like okay, so I'm kind of on the fence in terms of a lot of this pricing stuff because it's like I look, I'm barely going to be able to afford this thing at launch. Like it is frustrating to be essentially priced out of a hobby. I think that there's going to be a much greater movement in terms of particularly now with uncertainties and fluctuations in the market. There's going to be a lot more people that are just going to you're just going to have to be content with the games that you have, and I almost wonder if there's going to have to be like by necessity a slowing down of releases because it's like less people are going to be able to afford your games, so it's like you can't you have to make the games for the people that can actually play your system. You can't make it for with the same frequency and rapidity that you were doing before. That being said, game development is unbelievably expensive now, and I think that first of all, that needs to change. Nintendo's done a pretty good. I think of all the like AAA space, they've probably done the best job at like curbing that by not breaking the bank when it comes to specs. So they don't have to shell out as much money to make photorealistic Last of Us games or Max Payne 2. Not Max Payne. Alan Wake 2. Remedy. Alan Wake 2, which to my knowledge, I think barely has. I don't know if that's made money yet. That game's been out for like a year and a half
Mm-hmm.
and has sold pretty well, all things considered, and it hasn't made money. That's insane. That's insane, and
Mm-hmm.
that's like a $60 game. So like something's got to give in that regard too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the easiest ways for them to do that is unfortunately you can't. Games have been $60 for 20 years. That has not kept up with inflation, and while there's been a tremendous amount of growth in the industry, and so they've been able to kind of keep stuff at $60 because sales have been much greater in that period of time because just gaming as a hobby has grown so much.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is now is that the inflation, the way inflation's been skyrocketing, is just that just doesn't offset it anymore.
Right.
So something's got to give. And unfortunately, the easiest band-aid solution is just charge more money for your games. You charge 10, 20 more dollars for your games, that's more profit right
Well,
there.
it's tough because we,
So,
as gamers, especially our kind of gamers, we've been
yeah,
conditioned to be like, we can get all the new games we want at release if we want, and it'll
right.
be like a list, a pretty
Yeah,
hefty list of games we want in a year. To now be
right.
like, well, we know now we have to pick and choose like maybe just a couple games a year for
Yeah.
a lot of people, and then obviously a lot of people can't afford even that. It's like uh,
So
it's
so
tough. It's
the
tough.
one benefit of, and it's like not, game studios aside, them having to make money, which they do, it's a business for them to do that. The one benefit of other consoles have tended to have is that, so games on other consoles, even if they sell well, if they don't sell well, they're going to come down in price eventually. Like 6 months down the line, that $70 game is probably going to be 50. Holiday sale, you might bump that down to 30. If that game didn't sell really well, maybe it's even down to 20. If it sold well, but it's like, you still want to get some people excited about the holidays, it's a $40 game now. Nintendo sales are like 10%.
Yeah.
They give like a 10% discount at most on most of their games. And that is, they've been with Switch, and well, Wii U was a necessity, but on Switch, they've been a little bit more lenient. They're kind of easing back into a sale mentality. They've got a little bit more discounts on some games, but they've really got to step it up when it comes to that sort of thing, because like, I get the reasoning. We're offering a quality product. We don't want to give that away for anything, but it's like, man, with games, if you're making your games $80, $70, you're gonna have to bring that price down at certain times of the year, because like, you're pricing your consumer base out
Yeah, because
by doing that.
Nintendo people in particular, they're loyal. They want to.
Yeah,
People who love Nintendo love a lot of different Nintendo properties. Like they're gonna like Mario, Metroid, Pikmin, Pokemon, Legend of Zelda, and if you have a
right.
few of these a year, and they're all $80 for Mario Kart World, and it's like who knows they'll go higher for the next
Yeah,
Zelda or whatever. So even at launch, it's going towards $600 if you're getting a game and some extra stuff, and then a couple
yeah,
months later, Donkey Kong comes out, and it's like wow. Suddenly, I'm like, I can't just get everything. I just can't. I
right,
can't just keep up with everything that's coming out, and I have to
right.
opt out of certain games for a while.
Yeah,
So be
it's
interesting.
tough
Grand
because it's
Theft
like,
Auto 6, we'll see. I don't know because
yeah,
it would be
I'm
interesting if
very
it
I'm
came out
very
at
interested.
70, and
Yeah,
it's like, oh yeah, what now, Nintendo? Is it really that
yeah,
much
right.
value? There's that much value.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That would be interesting. But I mean, I mean, rumors have been swirling around by that being a 3-digit game for a while. So,
Yeah.
um,
Well,
I,
yeah,
I'm
and
very
now
I'm
they've
very
set the
curious as to what
precedent
Rockstar
too.
does there.
Well, now
Yeah,
Nintendo went out and set the precedent. We said Mario Kart World is that got that big a dick that we can just give it $80. So that means
well,
God
hey
help
man, I
us.
remember I remember when first party Nintendo games during the '90s were $80. I remember that. I remember having my folks buy me Mario Party 2. It was $80 at Walmart.
Hmm.
That's insane. That's insane to think about, that game was $80, by the way.
Like if you think
um,
about a video game of such a caliber like Mario Kart World, The
Yeah.
finest video game ever crafted, maybe the best value ever. It is true that you get hundreds of hours out of these games. It's like
Yeah.
truly like have been spoiled for a while in terms of like it's an expensive hobby, but if even if you were to get just one game every so often, you get so much out of it.
Yeah. And
Uh,
if you're patient for sales, again, this is
yeah,
Nintendo aside because Nintendo's always the hard sell on that one. But if you're patient for sales, you can get like a lot of really amazing
because
games
I look
at
over
discount.
my
So
shelf of games and it's like I have plenty to last me a lifetime.
yeah,
I don't I don't need any more games. It's just
right.
for the
I
hobby that I
Same for me.
enjoy playing new games.
Right.
But really, I'm set for life just on what I have,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
even
same
if I
honestly.
stopped now, I wouldn't have time to play everything I have. You know, I mentioned this before. I often think about my mortality in that way, and I look at my shelf and I say I will never play all of these games, and
Yeah.
then I think about death, and it's one of my favorite parts of the hobby.
Hey, don't get me wrong. I think the same thing a lot of the time too.
For real.
I often think like one of the things that I think about with my collection is that like I will I'm probably in the same boat where I'm probably never going to play all the games in my collection, but I like to think that when I'm in my 40s or 50s and I'm married, I have kids, I just want to be like, all right, let's go guys. Let's start from A and work our way through.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the thing
I mean,
is,
cuz here's the thing, is like some of those games are like 60, 70 hour games. Some of those
yeah,
games are like 5, 6 hours. I could do that in like a day, basically, or two
but
a weekend.
but you will have hundreds more games like
By that
by the
time,
time.
that's true.
So
That's true. And that like
that's
the shelf there is like not even half my collection either. So
that's the thing with the backlog and
it's-
why it's like a never-ending problem for a lot of gamers is because
yeah,
obviously you probably buy more games than you beat.
yeah,
Some gamers are very different than me in that they'll have a small selection of games. They'll beat their games before getting more things like that. A certain amount of self-control that I don't have.
right.
And every
I don't
game I
either.
get is with the intention of playing it one day, but it's an option to play it one day. I literally can't. I don't have enough time in the world, I don't think, to play through every game. Like if I just stop now. It's real. It's real
Yeah,
and but we are spoiled in that way in that you get a huge open world RPG with like potentially like 100 hours
yeah.
of
Xenoblade
gameplay.
X,
Yeah.
Xenoblade X just came out. You know, a remaster of that.
And you're paying the
Um,
price of like a few movie tickets,
yeah,
you know?
for that. Yeah,
It's expensive, but to consider the value you're getting out of it's pretty great.
yeah.
But,
I mean,
it's
and
tough.
that's always been kind of the thing. Like that's why I've sort of played the middle of this of like this whole discussion, at least mentally, and with like friends talking about it. Because I'm like, I understand the frustration, like because people have every right to be upset about being priced out of something that they love. Like I'm not going to take that away from anybody. I think people have the right to be mad, but like I at the same time, I'm also like it's it, it's also like there's more to it than just like they're charging more money because they can. It's like things don't remain equal. Have you been hearing about the massive industry layoffs recently? Like,
Yeah.
yes, Nintendo's been very fortunate in their position, and so maybe it is a little stingy of them to start
Yeah.
charging more. But
Well,
it's like,
yeah. That's
but
the thing with Nintendo.
but you also do have to remember the yen is extremely weak right now. Like it's Japan's economy is not exactly in the best place at the moment either. So there's factors beyond just the I'm gonna have to pay a lot more money to own this console and to play the games on it.
Mm.
But at the same time, like I can't blame anybody for not thinking that far ahead either, like that far out, other than just your own personal context, because you know.
We can say
But
maybe the value is there, and I might be
Mhm.
willing to give them grace in that it's not just for money. If they didn't charge $10 for a welcome tour, $10.
That's okay. There's literally no excusing that. That's
And the fact that
that's
that's
complete
kind of
BS.
that was obscured along
That's
with the pricing
BS.
of everything else. It feels like
Yeah.
they're just like, well, we can do it, F it. And there's no Reggie, there's no Iwata there to say no.
Yeah.
Obviously, this should be packed in
Yes.
with the system.
Because Reggie was notably, very notably, the person that fought for Wii Sports being a bundled in game and not charging for it.
Yeah, and that's a
He's like,
historic decision. The one,
yeah,
like the hugest ripple effect imaginable.
yeah, because Japan did charge for it. They did charge
Hmm.
for Wii Sports, but the Wii was an international phenomenon. Like,
Hmm.
and Wii Sports is like completely to, like, like old folks' homes wouldn't have had Wii's if it didn't come bundled in with that. Like, no one,
Yeah,
like, you
you wouldn't
expecting,
seek that
like,
out. You wouldn't seek it
yeah,
out as much.
right,
Yeah, so it
exactly.
was a huge game changer for the entire industry to be. I mean, by loophole, the best selling video game ever. Uh,
It shows
yeah.
the thing too is that it shows a bold confidence in your product too.
Hmm.
I think it
Yeah.
shows more confidence to do that than it does to charge extra money on top of it, because it's like
Yeah.
with that it's like, no, this demo, this tech demo of games showcases what we're about. Like, you don't need anything more than that. You could have the system and just have that as a showcase for what our system is about.
Yeah. And they did
And
it
yeah.
with Wii U. I love Nintendo Land. I actually really love that
Mhm.
game. I think
I think it's really
it's
it's a really
a
great
lot of
game.
fun, and it's a
Yeah.
great showcase of the Wii U gamepad. You have a lot of fun with that. And yeah, they had it right then too. Bundled it in, but also um, Astro's Playroom exists on
Yeah, Astro's
PlayStation 5.
Playroom is one of the greatest pack-in
Back in
games
ever.
ever made, ever made,
Yeah,
ever made.
it's what
And that
inspired so
includes,
much. Like, yeah,
and this includes, by the way, Super Mario World, which is a pack-in game. I think maybe not all Super Nintendos had it, but I know it was a pack-in game at one point. So maybe don't quote me on that. I don't remember. I can't remember my Super Nintendo history that well, but um, yeah, I mean, it's one of the greatest pack-in games ever made.
Astro's Playroom
Like,
sold me
it's
on that system from playing
yeah,
it. I was like, wow, I
yeah, it's
love this
amazing.
controller. I love it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that inspired so much passion that led into Astrobot.
Mhm.
And it's just insulting to me that they would dare charge for such a sauceless ass, weak ass game. Welcome
It's a
Switch to
manual, Zachy.
welcome
It's a
tour.
playable manual.
There's like
Well, the,
no
well, just the,
personality to it. It's like this
think,
dry ass walking on a Joy-Con
well,
and
think,
doing tech
think,
demos.
think how odd it is. Like, it is a showcase, a technical explanation, a tour of your
You're like
system
reading
that
little
you're charging
notes.
for. The thing you just bought, you're charging for a tour of it. That's
Right.
like that's like that's like going to a museum and like buying a ticket to access the museum, and then it's like, oh, but if you want an actual tour, you have to pay a little extra on top of that. It's like,
Yeah.
what? What? Why is that not included in my pass to get in?
There's no, like, if you show me Astro's Playroom and like the fantastical worlds and everything you go into, it's like, and then you told me it's $10, I'd be like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
And you look at Switch 2 Welcome Tour, it's like, oh, that's obviously, no one even
packing
questioned.
game.
It's obviously a packing game. And then they
Yeah,
slip in the paid
it's like
digital game.
paid digital.
Duh.
What? The fuck? What?
It's like there's nothing there that's like grabbing anyone's attention whatsoever. There's like very little personality to it. Even
Yeah.
the stuff they showed was literally just tech demos. Like, here, do this little thing.
And here's a quiz on what did you learn about the system, and it's like, what is that? What do you mean we're getting quizzed on this now?
So that's what added, like, that compounded with everything made it look really bad look. Like Nintendo is
That is
really
a really
just
bad
like
look. Yeah,
getting money wherever they can. Like, they're not showing the
it's
price
yeah.
up front. There's all this shenanigans, uncertainty of it, and then it's like, wow, okay, this is what we're
I
doing.
didn't know if you I don't know if you heard this, but unsurprisingly, Amiibo are also going up, and this is like that is like directly has to do with China with
Hmm.
that because that's where they've all been manufactured. So
Yep.
base Amiibo going up from 20 to 30. The Capcom Amiibo, I kid you not, $40 a piece
Hmm.
for the Street Fighter 6 Amiibo.
That's pretty.
That is insanity.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, because if you know the channel particularly, you know that I'm a little bit of a figure collector. I kind of dip in and out of the hobby because it is that if we're talking about expensive hobbies, gaming has like nothing on figure collecting. Figure collecting is a pretty expensive hobby. So, but that is just going to be like unless this tariff nonsense gets sorted, that I could be I'm priced out of that hobby except for the secondhand market, which that's already mainly where I do a lot of my stuff anyways is on the secondhand market, but I'm essentially going to be priced out of that hobby because like the import taxes and fees and everything coming from that are just going to be insane. There's no way I can get figures anymore. So the
Yeah.
benefit of that is I might be able to make money on reselling if there's going to be some like, hey, I can't get my fix. I need me some figures. I'd be like, all right, well, I've got these secondhand, and I can sell them to you for a mint.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway.
So more Switch 2 Direct stuff we didn't touch on still. Um,
Hmm.
what do you think of the Nintendo Switch 2 camera? I thought it was like one of the funniest like trailers
It
ever.
was it
Like
was
how blatantly awful like it looked,
so the
and like
quality of the
the
camera
screen.
seems so the quality of the camera actually seems like fine. Like it doesn't seem like
Well, yeah, I guess
good,
more
but it
so the
doesn't seem.
screen share part of it.
I love how unashamed they were to show how
Exactly.
bad it was. I actually kind of appreciated that. I was like, they're not even going to
I
pretend that this
appreciate
is anything other than
it.
horrible.
Yeah, that's the best version they had of it.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
best
It's,
look of it.
it's, um,
This is janky ass
it's
like
very silly, very
two
silly. It's
frames
like
per
a slide.
second.
Talking about slideshow, we talked about slideshow in the movie that we
Like I
reviewed
get
earlier,
it. Like if
and
you're doing it, you don't you're not exactly watching each person's
yeah,
full gameplay. You don't need the full smooth
right,
experience, and you don't want
right.
to slow down your experience. But it's almost like, what's really the point then? Why are we all sharing? Why would we all get in and all share our screens just so you can, I guess, peek over and see? Oh, he just got hit by a shell.
Yeah, maybe I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. But you can like full screen someone's gameplay and then watch the 2 frames per second like in full 240p.
At 240p too, no less. Yeah.
Just bizarre, bizarre.
It's very funny.
It's like
Yeah.
that convinced me that I don't want to do that. They
No, I
showed it
don't
to
need
me,
it.
and I was
I
like,
don't want it.
"Oh, okay, so I shouldn't do that." All right, bet.
Yeah, it's like cool. I guess I don't need that accessory. Well, I mean, that's there's been other Switch accessories or not Switch accessories, but there've
Well,
been
just the
other
screen
Nintendo
sharing
accessories in
aspect of
general.
it. They did there's literally Discord is what they had going on in there. I
Yeah, pretty
love
much.
how game chat is like, whoa, game chat, this oldest ass like thing in existence that we've been doing on other systems for decades. It's like, oh, you can now talk to each other in
Yeah.
game. Whoa.
Well, it's funny because other consoles now have a lot of them have Discord integration. Like I'm pretty sure the Xbox has it, and I know for a fact that the PlayStation 5 has Discord integration. So it's
Hmm.
like you can use their onboard stuff and it works great, or you can just use Discord. Or
Yeah.
you can use Nintendo's onboard stuff or their game chat, which works horribly, or you could just not use it and use Discord.
By the way, like, is this like actually a scam? Like, are you really expect me to believe you put the microphone there, or no, the microphone's on the stand,
Yeah.
and you can just be feet away on the couch. Someone's got a smoothie going on back the blender, and you just fully capture your voice and no problem.
Dubs is running his is across the room on his this is a joke that only he's gonna get, but I'm gonna say it for his sake if he's listening. Dubs is across the room getting ice in the refrigerator, like 35 feet away from the the microphone, but I
Mhm.
can hear it like it's right in my ear.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. That's how good the microphone's gonna be. Yeah.
It's just like there's no way. I really have to believe. Like I'll believe that when I see it. Like I got no headset on. I'm just gonna have a lovely time hearing everybody's voices through the TV, and then and I'm talking from my couch several feet away. There's noise going on in the background, and just everything's just a beautiful experience, right? Wow, I just can't imagine that ever working. It's like yeah,
Yeah, probably not.
everybody's voices are coming out the TV, and then like no one has headsets on. It's a mess waiting to happen.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'll be
there
amazed if
must be
that
some.
works.
Yeah, well, that's what the whole C button is about. It's about that chat
Yeah,
feature.
all the hype of the C button. It's right out the window
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Chat about it.
yeah.
Uh,
Just
I
chat,
do like the
guys.
kind of stupid integration of the Switch 2 camera, the silly way they did it in like Mario Party,
Well,
Jamboree.
that they did. They did legitimately interesting things with it there, I think.
Yeah,
But
I kind of like the idea of seeing the reactions and stuff. I like the
mhm.
guy who, when he got a star and he did like a little face, like a wink.
Yeah, yeah,
Remember
yeah,
that?
yeah,
Love that guy.
yeah.
He understood. Like
Shout out to that guy.
that would be fun doing stupid stuff like that,
Hmm.
and just seeing. I love that like you can get like a reaction, like someone loses a star, and you get their reaction, that kind of thing. Yeah,
You get the oof, the oof
yeah.
guy.
And then, but then there's like some corny mini games where it's got like your full body, or they're like in a pipe, they're going like this. Yeah, I don't
Get some
know.
1-2 switch energy going on there.
Yeah, I could really more so see it integrated with just like having people's reactions like subtly throughout the
Hmm.
gameplay. I could see that. It's tough, especially with the way you do it. It looks like you crop specifically where you want the face. So if you have people just casually hanging out, you're like, good luck getting them in one spot. Like, so you gotta sit upright and
While you're playing Mario Party.
like people gonna be laying back. You know, it's gonna cut to a
Yeah.
reaction. It's just like a wall.
Someone's wall or the top of their head or like up here and like up.
I don't know where this could ever be put, but I thought it was just imagining a funny edit of like, you know how when they were popping in with the Switch 2 camera, like each
Hmm.
person's popping in like hey, and they're like waving,
Oh
when they
yeah,
first
okay.
pop
Yeah,
in
they're like
like hey.
yeah, yeah.
I just think it would
Hey.
be funny if it just like the third one that pops in is just like straight cock. And
Well, if you're
then the fourth
surely they're only gonna do it with
and
friends
then the
or
fourth
whatever.
person is just like hey.
Hey, what's up?
Everybody else is normal. It's just and it's
Yeah.
just straight genitals in
Just
the one.
Jen.
That'll be a funny edit though.
uh,
There could be some
yeah,
fun
so the camera.
Switch 2 parties with that, huh?
No,
Just
yeah,
crop each
wild,
person's.
wild.
Yeah.
Um,
Kirby Air Riders. That was hype.
very hyped for that.
I love Kirby Air Ride. Particular city trial. I'm really gonna have my eyes peeled
I
for that. Like, what are they doing with that?
Yeah, yeah. So it's promising because Sakurai is the. This is the game that he talked about in his outro video for his channel.
Yeah.
Or which, by the way, I don't know if anybody who's listening to this, if you're watching this, if you've seen any of that, is you don't have to obviously go back and watch that his whole channel because the channel has like months and months worth of content to watch. So, but because I think he was doing it for like 2 years or something. So, um, but you one thing that was fascinating is that he recorded almost every video in the over the course of like a month,
Mm-hmm.
like every single video, because you see his last video and it's like, oh my god, Sakurai has finally actually aged. He looks like he's in his 50s now, whereas he's always looked like he's like 27
Mm-hmm.
for like most of his life, and now he actually looks like he's a
Yeah.
somewhat older Japanese man. But in that video, he talked about that he's pitched that through most of the last 2 years. He's like, I pitched and have been working on a game that I haven't told anybody about, and it's pretty much done and ready to be announced. And that was like maybe like 4 or 5 months ago, maybe 6 months ago when that came out. So this is that game, and that's exciting. That was kind of what I was hoping for. I was like, it can't be another
Yeah,
Smash Brothers because it's like he's done. I think he's pretty much said he's pretty much done with that. Like he's very proud of the
we'll
work he did
see.
with it.
We'll have a Godfather Part
But
3 moment for him.
Godfather Part 3. But
Pulling
I'm so
back in.
glad that it's this. This is like kind of what I was really hoping it would be.
Yeah,
It was honestly this or another Kid Icarus, because Kid Icarus Uprising is one of the most underrated games I think that Nintendo's ever made. That game is so good, and not enough people talk about it. But this is like right up there too, because yeah, Kirby Air Ride is such an amazing game, and particularly as you said, particularly City Trial. The other two modes are fine. They're not like
yeah, they're
top
serviceable. Yeah,
top ride is really fun. Is like that's like zany Smash Brothers type fun. Um, Air ride mode is kind of like whatever. It's sort of a whatever mode. So I'm hoping that like if they're gonna have all three modes again, that they do significant improvements on those first two, and then give us just more city trial, just more of
yeah,
that. Bigger
so
city,
much.
more events, more things, more air ride machines, just more of everything, please.
Everything is
It's so
here.
good. Everything is here.
He can't do
Everything is
he can't
awesome.
do anything half-assed now. He's got to do
No.
500 different events. The most different like areas and stuff. Because I've always thought that specifically that mode could be fleshed out so much more. There's a lot of potential there. Because really, like, it's just like one. It's just the same city every time, right?
It is the same
Like,
city every
imagine they
time.
have like completely
The
different like cities or whatever they are. In this version,
yeah,
a bunch of
maybe.
different locations, and a ton of different vehicles, and maybe more stuff you can actually do out in that
Mm,
hub world. And then a ton of different events would be fun. Just like you never know what you're gonna get. Like, and it's not like always like, oh, it's another repeat of this or another repeat of that. So I'm
hmm
curious the direction they'll go, and like how heavily they'll focus on that versus the racing aspects. I'm hoping that Sakurai understands that that's where the game shines, is that mode, and it's not like the racing mode is the selling point of it.
Right.
Maybe there'll be some wild card new mode in the mix too.
True.
See what else they can do with it. But it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
It was interesting too. Big racing games
Yeah.
uh,
Two racing games coming out.
coming out,
So
but
yeah,
and then the big one, Donkey Kong Bonanza. That was hype. That was
it's
hype.
what the it's this is clearly what the Odyssey team has been working on for the last however long.
Hmm.
Probably since before Bowser's Fury. I would guess, because this has been talked. A 3D Donkey Kong platformer has been rumored for like years now.
Yeah, and I've always
So
wanted it too. I
yeah.
love Donkey Kong. I'm still like, I was always torn on this new design ever since I saw it,
hmm
the new slash old design.
Yeah.
But I think it'll grow on me more. At the same time, it is feel like a new guy. It's like he's like a different
I
guy.
get what you mean. He's like, who is this guy? Who's this
He's like a
man? What
different
do you?
personality. It's like
He kind of does.
I'll
He
just have
kind
to
of has
grow to
like a
like him separately because it's not like
yeah.
he's a different vibe than the Donkey Kong we've
Well,
had for the past
well, it's
decades.
interesting because like the Donkey Kong, like um the Nintendo World, the Universal Resort
Hmm.
tie-ins still use all the old designs for everything. That's still like very Donkey Kong Country centric
Yeah,
for everything. So it's interesting. So I feel like
but maybe
they're
they'll
gonna
change
try to
it.
use. I don't know. I have a feeling that they're gonna try to continue both in their own ways. That like maybe Nintendo themselves will still continue to do that. But if there's ever gonna be like a Donkey Kong Country style thing, they'll still use that classic design.
We'll
But
see.
I don't know.
I'm
It's
interested
hard.
to
It's
see.
hard to say.
The,
Hard to
the
say.
the
Not knowing.
biggest
But
thing indicator that maybe not is the fact that he's like that in Mario Kart as well as Donkey Kong Bonanza.
mm.
It's not like this is just a Donkey Kong Bonanza look,
That's switch to synergy. Switch to synergy right there.
at
That's
the
what
very
that is.
least. But it is very much like he's mixed like he's fused with Wreck It Ralph and
He's
he's
very Wreck-It
wrecking
Ralph, yeah,
everything in
because
sight.
he's got different clothing on too, in different times. He's his pants
Suspenders
sometimes.
and
Sometimes he's got suspenders on.
yeah, yeah. They're
I
clothing this guy a little too much. He got
but
pants. It's crazy.
but but you know what? I know, and I understand. I completely understand your reservations about it, but like I'm totally here for it.
Hmm.
I love that classic design. I love both designs very much, but it's nice seeing that sort of classic design get a little bit of a rejuvenation.
This dude's
And
much more goofy
he's a
ass.
lot more goofy, yeah. And I because of how the great work that the Odyssey team did with the animation of Mario Odyssey, and just seeing what they've shown on display here is just like this is just going to be a feast for fun, great
Yeah,
game animation, and the gameplay looks fun. It seems like you can kind of there's a lot of ability to like dig down and
and you're just fucking up,
tear up
grabbing shit. Yeah.
the environment. It looks super fun. I'm really looking forward to that game.
Yeah, so it's much more of a
So,
focus on the action of it than just like
mm,
wandering around. So my biggest thing that I was hesitant about is like, will there be a lot of collectibles still? Because that's kind of the thing that people have always wanted. It's like when we get a 3D Donkey Kong, it'll be another
mm,
collectathon type. And then I watched the Treehouse, and they do definitely have collectibles in the mix. So I was happy to see that.
good,
But
good. I mean, hey, Mario's been honestly, Odyssey had a lot of collectibles,
yeah,
so
oh yeah.
it's good to kind of keep. You got to keep that rhythm going.
So I'll be hyped for
Keep,
that.
keep,
I think
getting some
honestly it would have
collectibles.
been awesome if they had both Donkey Kong and Mario Kart at launch. That would have
Hmm.
been good. I don't. I feel like that would have made more sense. You go all in on Mario Kart, I
I
guess, but it would be nice to have more of a
yeah
single player experience.
yeah. Well, they want to give a little bit more breathing room, I think,
And then no
to
one can
that,
afford more than
especially
one
with
game.
pricing, because no one can afford
That's the
more.
problem.
Yeah.
It's like from now on we're just gonna have one launch title, and then like 50 games that are already out in other systems that you've already played.
Yeah.
They might show up too.
They could be there.
But I'm hyped
Um.
for it. This
Mhm.
selection right here is this is everything. Rhythm Heaven, Tomodachi Life, Mario Kart World, Kirby Air Riders, Donkey Kong Bonanza. I'll be eating whenever I'm able to
Yeah.
afford it. So I'm
Eating
gonna
up.
try my best
Good.
to be able to get the Switch 2 at launch and Donkey Kong at launch. Those are like the two essentials for this year. This is my highest priority. But
Yeah.
did you see the Switch 2 commercial they posted on their YouTube channel?
Oh, the one that had like I was shocked because it had like over 1 million views and after like 5 hours.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
Are we talking about the Paul Rudd one?
Yeah.
So I huge fan of that Super Nintendo commercial. That is like everything 90s that I adore and love. And I'm glad that they did a little nice cute tribute to that. I appreciated it quite a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
yeah,
ironically the
it was
first
great.
time that Paul Rudd has aged was in that
Yeah, I
commercial.
know. What the hell was that?
Like
It's like Paul
I was
Rudd.
like, whoa.
What are you old now? What is going on? Paul Rudd, no, say it ain't so.
And then on they were playing together, him and the guy from Brooklyn 99.
Yep.
He was just there.
Yeah, he's just there.
Yeah, playing
Yeah.
and some other random people. But yeah, that was
If it would have been
interesting.
him and the cast of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, that would have been fun.
I
I mean, like,
never knew that was a thing. There was a Paul Rudd commercial in 1991,
yep.
the
Hmm.
Super
Yeah, it was
Nintendo,
a launch of the system. Yeah,
and so
I
that was
love that
very interesting.
commercial. It's like I love those like the little celebrity thing because Drake Bell was in the original Pokemon
You're right,
commercial.
right.
One of those. He's playing the Game Boy. Um, love that.
Yeah.
So
So it was just a
yeah.
neat little thing. Anything else on the Switch 2 or the Switch 2 Direct we should touch
We
on?
already started talking about
Oh,
game key cards. Um,
GameCube. GameCube.
oh, GameCube on. So yeah, interesting. So I don't know what this necessarily does to ports of games because like are we getting Zelda? Will we get Wind Waker HD? Because some people I there was something somewhere I was reading that people say this actually makes it more likely that we would get that, and there was like a reasoning behind it because there's apparently still they're still like looking at potentially porting those games,
Mm-hmm.
um, which I think is very strange, but it would
Right.
be kind of nice to have both of them living side by side. Fire Emblem
Mm-hmm.
and Pokemon XD, Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness are huge
Yeah.
gets for that. So looking forward to being able to actually play Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. It would be really nice.
Yeah, I'm very privileged in that I have access to pretty much all the
Yeah.
games they showed, so it doesn't really do anything for me specifically.
Hmm.
But it's because I just collected all these GameCube games. But yeah, Fire Emblem is like so inaccessible.
Yeah.
Um, me and my brother have always thought it's like a natural. You do a Fire Emblem Radiant collection as a
I've been
remaster.
saying it for years too.
Like,
I don't know why
why
they
did they do
haven't done
that?
it.
I feel like that's
I don't
instant
know.
money. Like, because the Fire Emblem fans have gotten so much more passionate since then, and those are two
Yeah.
games like Ike in particular is like has such a spotlight from Smash Bros. And that game is
Well,
hard to get. So
because the weird thing too is that because even though Radiant Dawn is more accessible, it's still a pretty expensive Wii game. It's still like 70, it's still like 80, $90,
yeah,
which is quite a bit. And like
that's the
now it's
price
in
of
an
Mario Kart
awkward
World right there.
now it's
It's crazy.
yeah, but that's used. But now it's in this awkward position because it's like, well, what do you do with Radiant Dawn now? Like,
You
are
don't.
you going to add
Yeah,
Wii
yeah.
support?
No, they wouldn't dare. I
No, I
still think
wouldn't
there's
think they
such a
would dare.
missed opportunity for like DS, 3DS type things that they could have done with
Yeah.
well, particularly the way that the Wii U
Well,
worked would have been great, but like to use the
yeah.
two different screens would have been cool.
Yeah. I mean, they did. I mean, with DS ported stuff, they did that,
It,
but
yeah, but
it was it was awkward implementation. I mean, the Wii U is an awkward little thing anyway. So,
I love the guy
um,
though.
yeah,
Even if I have access to those games, I would have been totally down to buy a Fire Emblem Radiant collection just to have a
yeah,
remastered version would have been cool. But it's like okay, very good. Everybody will be able to play that game. That's cool.
yeah,
Yeah, Wind Waker is interesting because I don't personally need it because I love Wind Waker HD and I think that's like an
yeah.
amazing version of the
I,
game and I have that, but obviously a lot of people didn't
I
get in on the Wii U.
I think like I almost wonder if some of it is because a lot of the extra implementation of that game was and same thing with Twilight Princess HD as well, is there's a lot of implementation of Miiverse was utilized in both of those games. Like the whole Tingle tuner aspect, the Tingle whatever it was called in Wind Waker HD.
Yeah.
Basically, if you connected online, you didn't even have to use the same. It wasn't even the same thing as the Tingle tuner. It would basically send messages from other games to your thing. So it's like I don't know if they just didn't feel like what do we do with that? Like
Mm-hmm.
so there's kind of an awkward thing there. And Twilight Princess added like 65 stamps or something like that. Like there's tons of more things to just earn and find in that game, and then there's no use for it now because Miiverse doesn't
Yeah.
exist. So like I'm like some of it is probably a little bit to do with both of those things kind of being awkward and then maybe not necessarily knowing what to do with them now. But I don't know, figure something
But
out,
yeah,
man.
Wind
Like
Waker HD was the way that I finished that game for Gen's
yeah.
Challenge a few years ago, and it looks so
Yeah,
good.
it's a
Yeah.
beautiful version of that game. I like literally I kind of I'm with because Scott the Waz says this if has said this quite a number of times where he's talking about both versions of the game that like um visually Wind Waker the original probably has better like more high highs in terms of like just the general contrast of like the how the visuals like work, but the Wind Waker HD has a much more consistent like look to it
Mm-hmm.
where it's like it stays in a consistent level of like being really good looking consistently throughout the game.
Yeah.
Um, and that to me is like that's the one thing that because I think that game looks beautiful. I think both of them are great looking. they're both timeless in their own ways, but like the HD is just like this, just that little extra bump of polish on top of the cell shading that looks very nice.
Yeah.
Um,
So that's cool. That's cool. GameCube integration.
yeah, and F-Zero, they showed off F-Zero GX showing up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, those games are also getting a bump to the resolution, which is kind of nice. So they are going to look a lot nicer and perform at that GameCube 60 frames per second, which was a pretty big deal back in the day.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Anything else?
yeah,
Switch 2?
I mean, I think that's pretty much it.
Oh, yeah. I
For
did want
most
to
of it.
say we did a video talking about what we would want for the Switch 2.
Oh yeah,
Was it like a
a lot.
year or two ago?
Not much of that came true,
Nothing.
huh?
No, probably
Nothing.
nothing. Probably nothing.
Probably nothing. Yeah,
Dude, I'm so disappointed that they just. It's like the UI is exactly the same from everything we can tell.
I hate that.
It's the
I
same
also
old
hate that.
boring UI, no themes, no
But
sauce.
they
They
you
said they
gotta add
actually people
something.
asked Nintendo and they clarified there will be no sauce. No sauce.
No sauce served on the menu.
no,
On the menu. I'm
they
sorry.
actually made the conscious effort to have no sauce so that the games will pop even more when you get in there.
What do they feel like? Did they feel like the 3DS was too powerful or something? They're like, yeah, we had too many themes that you could pay for on
Yeah,
that. We don't want that anymore.
and they're
It's like,
probably no
you know how
activity
many
log. I'm
themes?
sure.
You know how many freaking themes I bought on that? Some of them, a lot of them I get for free, but like pay like $2 for a theme, and it has this awesome dynamic, like the sound effects change.
Yeah, I got a
You
nice
rearrange
Donkey
everything
Kong one.
around.
It's like
I have an Ocarina of Time, a Majora's Mask, a Xenoblade, a Pokemon one. Yeah, I mean, they had
it's so
awesome, tons of
charming,
themes.
and the activity log is crazy that we don't have. And they're obviously not bringing
Yeah,
that back. It's like it was such a clean, nice way to
yeah,
see your playtime. I liked even just a little the UI of like being able to list your favorite game on your
yeah,
profile thing. I could say system settings is my favorite game. That was awesome.
yeah, yeah. You could do you do weird nonsense with that. Face Raiders, best game on the thing.
It's the best game ever played.
Best game.
And yeah, no achievements. It was never gonna happen, but it's a dream.
Yeah, yeah, I like it.
So
I mean,
dumb.
they're
Like,
still
come
they're
on,
still pushing that. They're pushing the Nintendo, whatever they do with their Nintendo online account stuff, the platinum and gold coins or whatever, all that
bullshit.
stuff.
Complete bullshit.
It is.
So I'm just thinking. I've been playing recently. I went back to Ghost of Tsushima,
Yeah.
and I platinumed that. I went through the DLC, Iki Island, and I got all the trophies for that. And I'm
Mm,
not usually a trophy guy. I've always liked the idea of them. I like lists and checking things off in general, so it feels like it would be right for me. And but I had a lot of fun doing it for that and certain games for sure. And then I feel like a lot of Nintendo games specifically, I would have had a lot of fun doing that for, um, like Mario games, Donkey Kong games, Zelda games.
yeah.
Like there's a lot of potential there that like even when
Yeah.
they work in their little corny in-game achievements sometimes it's like it's not the same. You
Mm,
need so PlayStation have mastered this nice uniform system that you're missing a whole market here. Like you could get a lot of people who are trophy hunters to be
yeah.
fiending for the Nintendo equivalent. Absolutely.
Yeah. For
Because
sure.
you don't get them anywhere else. They have no choice but to get them there. It's like, now I'll go play this on PlayStation instead. Now you're going to get the Platinum or whatever it is on Mario on the Switch too.
Yeah.
But it's a
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I've been playing. So I've been playing Bloodborne, and I like that's what I've been doing. I've been trophy hunting in that. And a lot of the trophies are really geared towards just like beating bosses. You get trophies for beating bosses, but like I'm like, no, I'm playing this game. I'm sitting down. I'm actually gonna beat it. I could have beaten it like hours and hours ago, honestly, at the point I'm at right now. But I'm like, no, I want to sit down and I want to do
mm-hmm.
trophy hunting because this game is phenomenal. It's a masterpiece, and I just want to give it the time that I feel it's due for right now. I'm not going to be able to get the platinum in this first playthrough, I'm most certainly going to have to do New Game Plus to do that. So I'll probably set it down after I beat it. Technically, you have to beat it 3 different times because there's 3 different endings and there's a trophy for each one. But I'm going to. There's basically a method to kind of cheat your way to get it, because if you use a USB drive, you backup save on that. You can backup save on a USB drive. So I'm going to do that because I have no shame. But it's a game I'm going to come back to a lot over time. I want to do different builds and stuff of character building, because I've pretty much done a very basic, like, I'm strong. I'm a strength build and vitality. There you go. I haven't messed around with arcane or blood tinge or anything like that. I haven't messed around with any of that stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, like, that's giving a bump to, like, a little extra effort to be like, put this in your game. Like, give people something to keep playing it. It's like,
Yeah, I don't know
why
why
not do
Nintendo
that?
are so offended by this idea. Like, it feels like it's perfectly in line with their game philosophy, and that, like, you want to be able to have them appreciate all these little details and all the little care they put into the game. It's like exactly what
Mm,
trophies can do. You can highlight those things that you might not have sought out otherwise.
right.
Incentivizes you to go for the extra collectibles or see this little reference here. It would be perfect. And we'll
Yeah.
just never get it because it's going to be same old bland template on this. There's a generic looking UI on the damn thing. But
Yeah, very unfortunate on that regard. So
well, whatever. I guess the
whatever.
games are what matter. But yeah, Ghost of Tsushima I put about 80 hours into now.
Mm,
I've done almost everything you can. Now I've started playing the DLC, the Legends DLC, which is intended as a co-op 2 to 4 player
hmm
DLC. But I'm trying to do it solo because I don't really have anyone to play it with. I'm trying to do it solo, but I don't think it really scales very well for that. It's pretty
mm,
much intended for multiple players, so I don't know if as I get into later chapters it'll be like near impossible for me because it's already been pretty challenging. So we'll
mm.
see. Because it would be nice to get all the trophies in that. Because it's annoying these games. Like I got the platinum, I got all the trophies for Icky Island, but then you got a couple other things. There's like New Game Plus trophies. There's
Yeah,
Legends trophies, another Legends trophies. There's
yeah. That's kind of the one thing that bugs me about, yeah, some of, like, the Spider-Man. Like, I have, like, Spider-Man and Spider-Man
yeah,
Remastered, but I don't have I didn't beat it on New Game Plus or whatever. So it's like I don't have those trophies. It's like,
yeah. It's like
man.
it's like I got the platinum. That's all. That's the most important thing. But
Hmm.
it would be nice to just have a clean 100%.
Clean bill of health. Yeah.
But from what I can tell, that would probably take a lot of time for me to, because this mode in particular is like a side mode, mostly focused on combat. But I think one of the trophies was like get to level 20 on in each different class, and there's a bunch of different classes, so it might be like a grind,
Mm.
especially if I'm doing a solo. But I feel like it could be fun if there was a couple people I could play with. But
Oh, I got the platinum recently in Theater Rhythm, Final Bar Line.
oh wow,
That was a lot of fun. It's kind of the last grind sucked, but because it was like fill out. You have to have 10. Was it the 10 excellent bars or something like that? Um, which
so
weirdly
it's Willy
doesn't mean that
Wonka.
you have to. Which means which is weird because, like, you don't actually have to have a perfect, like, have a full excellent chain. Um, which is very strange, I think, or a perfect chain. You don't have to have a full perfect chain, but if to get it, basically each bar on the, like, on the readout has to be like full gold. Basically means that you've got enough points on each one to, like, fulfill the necessary requirement to do that. So it was kind of awkward trying to. I didn't even realize that when I got the trophy. So
Yeah, I don't know. Platinum
Um,
for a rhythm game always sounds like hell to me because I'm never
it's
the
very,
kind to do like the highest difficulty on those kinds of games.
yeah. Technically, you don't really have to on that. I don't think there's
I always
any.
just assume you would, but
I'm trying to think. I think on Theater Rhythm there, I don't think there are any that actually require you to do. There might be like a couple of trophies that are related to having to do things on harder difficulties, but I don't think there. I don't think there are. Melody, the Kingdom Hearts rhythm game does. The Kingdom Hearts one requires you to do. I think to have full chains on. I think in every 50 full chains in every difficulty. And there's only like 120 songs in that game, so you have to be pretty dedicated. But that game is I would say is easier than Theater Rhythm. Um, it was an I would say it was less of a grind for the platinum as opposed to Final Bar Line because Final Bar Line also has like uh, I found out way too late that I was probably playing. I was definitely playing the game sub optimally if I wanted to get some of the trophies that I did definitely had to grind for.
hmm.
But it
Well,
like because
like you
there's
could have done the
characters
highest
stats.
difficulty sooner, kind of thing.
No, it's more like the characters that you choose. I should have stuck with the
Oh,
same
right,
party
right. Yeah,
throughout
yeah,
most of
yeah.
the game because they'll level up to level 99, but then after that they level up to star levels and then star level 9.
Uh-huh.
But the problem with that is that you need like 10 like you need like 100,000 experience after that, and the max you can get on each level is 9,999. So it's like it takes a long time to level everything up. So
Yeah, I was leveling them all up evenly, like it was Pokemon out there.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, I because what I did is I'd bring along the fitting party for each title because I'm like I want my bros along for the road trip in 15. I want Cloud, Barrett, Aerith, and Tifa. Maybe throw in Vincent or Red 13 in
You
there for
didn't
a
want
little
to
bit.
bring White Mage to Final Fantasy 15
No, get
crossover.
that. Well, there's no. It's not White Mage. It would have been Princess Sarah probably. I'm not bringing Princess Sarah. Get out of Final Fantasy 15. Okay, that's um or Garland. Get out of here. What are you doing in here?
Hmm.
Gilgamesh would be
Yeah.
fine in any of them because he's Dimension Hopper. But
Canonically,
um
I only play it canonically how they would be able to fit
canonically,
into the
that's right.
world.
That's right. That's right. And so, but the was very tricky. I basically had to go to Reddit to help me out with go to Reddit and go to this is a while ago now, but to do every mission, that was a grind that I did probably when I was playing it back in like December or January. Um, and that was would have to consult being like party build. So essentially, like because the game is has like RPG elements to it, you do actually have to like consider certain builds of your party to like fulfill conditions to do the missions sections of the game.
Hmm.
So that was that was its own thing. But anyway, that's all done. I'm very happy to have the platinum in that game. That game is amazing, and
Yeah.
yeah,
I'd like to get into the habit of doing more platinums.
yeah,
Have barely ever done them, so it would be nice. Certain ones, like I don't know, another other big games like Hogwarts Legacy that I love. I
mm,
don't know
mm,
if that's a difficult one to get or not because I remember I did all the quests in there, but didn't do every little
yeah.
thing on the map.
My, my guess is it probably wouldn't be probably just based on the kind of game it is. Probably wouldn't be too hard. It might have some
Probably
grindy kind of parts to it because it's an
similar to
open
Ghost
world.
of Tsushima type because they're very
Mm,
similar like maps. It's like quests and then all the different things you can collect, like different activities and stuff. So probably
hmm
similar because I had put similar amount of time into both of them. I think initially around 50 hours,
Yeah,
if I'm remembering that correctly, or did I put more into Hogwarts Legacy? I can't remember,
you put a lot
but
of time into Hogwarts Legacy.
it might have been more than that. But probably like an extra 20 to 30 hours maybe to platinum. I'm not sure. Yeah, so how about an update on our year-long game challenge? Right? In the beginning of the year on our podcasts in January, we did a challenge where we each made a list of 10 games for ourselves to finish, and then 5 games for the other person to finish. For each game that you finish from your list of 10, you get 1 point. For each game that you finish on the other person's 5 they assigned you, you get 2 points. So how many points do you have right now, Alec?
I'm just one.
1 point. 1 point for what?
Well, hold on. I'm trying to consult my list real quick because I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
That would be
look at the
new to
list to
me.
make sure. I'm trying to look at the list to make sure. So I lied. The list is I have 0 points.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I thought I beat something, but
No.
no, I haven't beaten any of these yet. So, but I'm like basically at the end of like 2 of these games. So
Okay, so I have 1 point. All right. So big 100% lead for me.
yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I beat Skyward Kitty Legends for the Gents Challenge.
Boom! There you go. Hell yeah.
So yeah, the other games, just to keep giving myself a refresher of what my options are, I've got for myself for 1 point each, Resident Evil 4 on PlayStation 5, Sandland, The Witcher 3, The Walking Dead: A New Frontier, Life is Strange 2, Dragon Quest 9, Kingdom Hearts 2, Ni no Kuni, and a Call of Duty game. And then for the 5 that you assigned me, Kingdom Hearts: Rechain of Memories, Yooka-Laylee, Final Fantasy VII, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Final Fantasy 13. So if you beat any of those, I get 2 points.
Right. So for the record, yeah. So the 10 games I have are Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which I'm very close to beating. That's where I was like, I have a point, and I was like, wait, no, but I didn't beat it. Final Fantasy 16, partway through that game. Bloodborne, I'm pretty much at the end. I could have beaten it. I could have the point already. I just don't. I just haven't beaten it. Cyberpunk 2077, again, that's achievable. Ghosts of Tsushima, which maybe if I play some of that game this summer, maybe I can help you grind out some of those co-op trophies.
That'd be cute.
Hogwarts Legacy, Yooka-Laylee, Stellar Blade, Record of Lodoss War, D-Lit and Wonder Labyrinth, and Stray. And then the games Zach assigned me: Bug Fables, Mass Effect, Baldur's Gate 3, Astrobot, and Sea of Stars.
Yeah, there's some good games in here. We got some good games.
Yeah, a lot of good games, in fact.
Yeah, I remember feeling like in a Telltale / Life is Strange mood recently. So I'd like to dive into those. Those would be pretty easy points.
Yeah.
Potentially.
So the thing is, after Bloodborne, I'm going right back to Rebirth, and then after I beat Rebirth, I'm going right back into 16. So I'm going to be doing some back-to-back stuff here over the course of the next month.
You say that, but you know the Gents Challenge might come in
and
as
that's
well
the goal.
At that point.
The Gents Challenge might come in, but with Bloodborne, I'm like, I only have 2 Chalice dungeons to go. Chalice dungeon and a half to go to get the trophy that's related to that. I don't have to worry about that ever again. And that's the hard. That is like everyone. That's like the hardest trophy. Like because most people don't do that one because like Chalice dungeons are very love-hate. I'm actually very much in the middle. I love aspects of them. I think the implementation is kind of clunky, and I'm not like I'm a huge fan of them, but I do like the general like dread and sense of exploration that you have as you're going through them, and like you don't really know what's around the next corner type thing.
Yeah. So we're virtually tied in this pretty pathetic race so far.
Yeah, pretty virtually tied. You are definitely in the lead, but I'm hot on your
big point.
Hot on the trail.
Point. Yeah. So I mean, these are definitely a lot of games that still definitely would be down to play very soon. It's just a matter of now. As I mentioned, the Gents Challenge is every couple months that I always participate in. We both always participate in, and so it'll be interesting because this last challenge I was able to get all of my games on there, so I was guaranteed to get points as long as I finished them.
Right.
I thought potentially if I had finished my other game, I would have gotten 3 points because that was a two
Yeah,
pointer.
you would have.
But it'll depend on what the theme is. Like whatever our theme ends up being, that could determine, you know, a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
RNG element there as well as to how many of our games could even fit into that theme.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting. A lot of recent themes have been more so about the structure, which have pretty much opened the list up to be anything. So it's likely that most of them would be, because it's not often nowadays that we get like a horror gens challenge or certain type of game. You know.
Yeah. The thing is like we have a lot more people involved in it now, and I know for a fact that like if it's something like licensed games or anything like that, they're just like, yeah, they're not gonna
I know.
participate
Yeah.
because they just don't have games in their backlog like that. So, or like,
The
at least not enough to justify an actual list.
Yeah, and we always
So,
vote for the theme each time. So it's
yeah.
likely, and we've seen almost every time we've had the different format changes switch up. It was fun the
Mm.
choose your own gens challenge one where we could come up with our own theme for our list, and that was fun.
That was super great. I love
So
that
stuff like
theme.
that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see because you were assigned one game on this list and one not on this list, so you beat the one that's
Right.
not on this list.
I did.
So you
Yeah.
get no credit for it. Not in this challenge.
No, but I
But
did beat it, and that was very worth it. That was Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight. Oh yeah,
Wonderful
Silk
game.
Song. Silk
Yeah.
Song.
Silk Song was announced. Yeah. That
This
was in a weird, happenstance, weird, strange way.
crazy drop in the sizzle reel.
Yeah.
Wild.
In a sizzle reel. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I do want to mention also I am participating in the Scholars Challenge, which is our
yes.
reading variation of the Gent Challenge. And so
Yep.
the two books I was assigned to read within a month are The Fellowship of the Ring and Ready Player 2. So, two interesting books.
Two very different, very different
I'm starting
books.
with Fellowship of the Ring. And
Nice.
my goal
Good.
is to be Supreme Gen, as it always is, but or Supreme
Yeah,
Scholar. But we'll see. A month is a tighter deadline.
it is.
So I got to get on that more because I've really been on my Ghost of Tsushima grind. That's been my nightly routine now.
Mm.
So I got to get into reading more often. And yeah, Ready Player 2 will be interesting because it's been like over a decade since I read the original Ready Player 1.
Yeah, I don't even remember if I have it. I have Armada, which was his like space Last Starfighter style book that he wrote after that, but I haven't read that.
Mm-hmm.
Um and yeah, I don't know anything about Ready Player 2, so
Um, all right. Anything else you want to get into? Because I think we will forego the random topic because we've got plenty of
yeah,
content here already.
plenty of content there. I do want to mention those again, fans of the channel, friends of the channel. No, I'm a big VTuber fan. We've done several, at least a couple videos related to that kind of hobby of mine. But big news in that scene is that Garagura, probably one of the most well known VTubers kind of out there. It's like Iron Mouse is really well known as well, but in terms of the Hololive scene, it's definitely Gura. She announced just like late last week that she's going to be graduating, which means essentially she's retiring at the end of the month. So it was very very quick. There's been like a kind of steady slate of graduations on the English speaking side of things recently, which has kind of sucked because pretty much all of them are like really well known um, members of their respective like generations. So it's been kind of rough to kind of sit through. This is by far like kind of the roughest because like she's pretty much like she's the most sub to VTuber on YouTube. It's like she's a huge deal, but it's like at the same time, if you know like literally if you know anything about her past or about even stuff that she's spoken about, like it's been a kind of a long time coming, this kind of thing. And if you one thing I will highly recommend doing is listening to the original song, which her last big project was released over the weekend, and huge recommendation to listen to it. It's a song, an original song, that was composed by Casey Edwards, who's the DMC5 composer. Um, her Some of her early stream highlights were playing Devil May Cry 5. I think during her first birthday, fans actually donated to Cameo to get the voice actor for Dante to like wish her a happy birthday, which is like a highlight of her life. Um, so DMC5 is like something that means a lot to her specifically. But so being able to like work hand in hand with the composer of that music and being able to like write a song with them is just like one of the coolest things that she get to do. But like that song, she talked about in the stream where introduced it. She said like she was barely able to like ever practicing it. She's like crying the whole time through it. And if you listen to it and you understand the words mean pretty much, it's more or less like very apparent, like the stuff that she's been going through behind the scenes,
Mm-hmm.
with anxiety and imposter syndrome and everything. And yeah, I mean, you can't blame her. It's been a good run. She's streaming has been kind of a very sporadic over the last 2 years for her, even though she helped the Dodgers win the World Series last year, by singing by singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" at a game last year. They have to be on their own now. So the Dodgers can't rely on a little shark girl to
Wow.
help them out. But yeah, go check out that. It's Ash Again is the name of the song. Go check it out on. I think it's just on YouTube for now. Hopefully, it'll be uploaded to Spotify at some point. But the song's amazing. And yeah, I mean, it holds a very special meaning for all for her and for I think for probably for everybody, all our fans from here on out. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. And it's gonna it's gonna be a little less fun without her around. At least as that character, we don't. She's been, with all of these things, it's like maybe, it's maybe this isn't the last time that we'll ever hear from the person behind the character, but maybe it is. Maybe she'll just go on and live her best life elsewhere.
Right.
Because again, if as one of her gen mates and friends has said in another at other intervals, Calliope Mori has said, we weren't designed to be watched by millions of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like human beings were not designed to be watched by that many people at a
Yeah.
single time. And it's true, and that is going to do that. The people are going to have very different reactions to that. And a story that Gura has told, several times, is like growing up and even into like her probably like teens. She got anxiety from singing in the shower by herself. So I think that tells you the kind of person that she is, and the fact that she's been able to do what she's done despite that is pretty inspiring. So yeah.
Nice.
So I
All
want to
right.
give my piece on that at least.
Yeah. Fair enough. I do
Yeah.
want to say, I would appreciate anyone who checks out my other channels as well. I got
Yeah,
more
doing good
videos
work
on
over
there.
there.
I try to
Yeah.
put out new video on at least one of them every couple weeks. So there's Zach Archer, which is music, Zach Archer TV, which is movies, TV, reality TV, and Zach Archer Games, which is video games. So I'll probably do a Ghost of Tsushima video at some point. I think it would be nice because I've been loving that game, Yeah, so I've been trying to keep up with those. It's a lot, but it's like whatever interests you, pick whatever you like. I did have one random question that I wanted to ask as well, and that's
Sure.
do clowns still go to birthday parties? And does that still go on? Like children's birthday parties with clowns?
Where did that question come from?
What
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do.
makes you so
I don't think
confident?
they're as
Have you ever
popular.
seen it?
I've never personally seen it, but I know it
I think
has to
it's a
still it
myth.
has to still happen.
It might actually be a myth that never happened.
It'll 100%
Oh,
happen.
okay.
It's 100%
Have you
happen
been to
still.
one?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've
Birthday
ever
party with a
been to one.
clown?
Like even
No,
a
I've been
kid,
to
I don't.
parades with clowns,
Even as
and
a
I've been to the
kid, I feel like I
circus.
went to some party that had balloon animals. I don't
Hmm.
remember if it
But
was a
didn't,
clown
but no clown.
specifically. I can't remember. It was too long ago. But
Mm.
it's just such a bizarre thing. Clowns have always been like universally seen as creepy, as for as long as I've known it. And they're now like a symbol of like horror and horror movies.
Yeah.
They're like synonymous with it. And so it's like I just can't imagine like someone having a clown at a kid's birthday party now. It seems
Did you just think
unheard
about that?
of.
Right? Like that just came out of
Oh yeah,
nowhere.
I thought about it. I thought
Yeah.
about it a couple days ago, and I was like, I'm gonna pocket
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. No, they certainly do. They're probably not. I mean, they're not obviously as prevalent now, but I mean, clowns are still involved in like the circus and everything, and especially now that like circuses are like way peeling back like any animal involvement due to like animal rights stuff and abuse and so on for a lot of
Bullshit.
that. So
That's what I
so
call it.
clowns are. So clowns are a little bit more involved in that stuff now, as well as like Daredevil type stuff.
Yeah, he's
Um,
got a new show
but
on Disney Plus
Daredevil,
too.
Daredevil, yeah, born again, baby. Yeah, but yeah, no, clowns are still involved in that. Like my uncle is a clown. My uncle
Yeah,
is a
that's
clown,
not
but
nice.
like he does he does the thing is he's only a clown in parades, which is typically when I've only seen clowns for the most of my life.
Yeah.
Other than the circus, but I've been to
Okay.
the circus like twice. So
Yeah, I've never been to a traditional circus. The one
oh okay,
circus I've been to is called Paranormal Cirque. I've probably talked about it at some point, but it's like kind of
maybe
like a little sexually charged, and it's like also
oh
creepy and like sinister stuff happening.
okay. I mean, I did like a haunted walk one time,
Yeah,
which
hell yeah,
had
I've
you
been to
walk
those.
through and you did they had some clowns in some areas and then they had
Having
hillbilly
sex in
horror
the woods,
hillbilly yeah
some freaky
then
shit.
some hillbilly horror in another section and you had like sci-fi horror in another. It was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I've been to those
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, yeah, it
But
was
yeah, the
great.
Paranormal Circuit had like a little haunted walk going into the tent,
Yeah.
and then once you're in there, it was like you just like you'd have people coming down the aisles being creepy, and like even
Mm,
as the show's going on, everybody's acts are like based on that. Like they're like
mm,
typical circus type acts, but with a creepy theme to them.
mm.
Like
You say
contortionists like going like
oh yeah,
doing creepy spider walks and stuff.
yeah.
Paranormal Cirque.
You
Yes.
said sexually charged.
Yeah, there's a sexual energy to it. Yeah,
Oh,
like they make sexual jokes or they bring up people and be like, "Oh, look what he's packing." And like there was one point where
oh,
they grabbed
yeah.
someone's penis and the whole thing.
Okay. Okay.
As
They
you,
turn that into a balloon animal.
yes, it was awesome. If if you're as you're just walking down like into the place, even in like the haunted walk part, like creepy like ladies would like yank on women's ponytails like as they're passing, like people that are
That's
just
weird.
coming to
That's
watch
bizarre.
just yanking
That's
their hair.
strange.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Wow.
pretty gnarly.
That's weird. Yeah.
So no traditional circus though. I've always that sounded
Hmm.
interested to me, but Yeah.
It
Anyway.
was cool. I that was only when I was a kid. I don't remember what it didn't go when at any other point, but yeah.
Hmm. All right. Well, clowns at birthday parties. I don't know. Let me know if you've seen one in the past like decade. If you've been to a kid's birthday party, you know,
Yeah, it's a
for
good
real.
question. It's a good question.
Because like you survey 10 kids, you'd be lucky if you get one who says like, "Yeah, I'd be happy to see a clown." Right?
No, they want to see Mike Wazowski showing up or something,
Oh,
or like I don't know,
Elsa.
Paw Patrol.
Elsa can come.
Yeah, Elsa showing up. Yeah,
Yeah, but the clowns they would just have it. I feel like mostly an adverse reaction to. It's like creepy.
depends.
Mostly,
You gotta play it right. You gotta play it right.
I don't know. There's the perception. I feel like public
Yeah,
perception
perception's way
of
way off
clown
now.
is way
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
Yeah,
Stock on clown is way down.
it is in certain ways, and in certain ways it's up. If you want to be
Yeah,
a movie villain
right,
clown,
right.
yeah,
The Joker, baby. All right.
Joker.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna do our wrapping up. Talk about the videos released in the past month as well as comments. I think there's only like literally maybe 2 comments to get to, so it'll be
Okay.
quick.
Not bad. Not bad. Not bad.
But let's see what videos we've released. All right, so we released since the last Tarqaron podcast episode, we've released Snow White, or we had both Snow White reviews. I think the most recent one was after the last podcast, Snow White 2025. We had Survivor the Funny 115 Part 5, which I named Who's Gary Hawkins? I don't know. We had a Minecraft movie review. We had the aftermath of the last game's standing Gents Challenge with Blinkoom. We had our Chance Time spin for April. We had Memoir of a Snail review. We had our Cash on Delivery review.
Yeah.
And we've had episodes 3, 4, 5, and probably 6 at this, or 7, because we skipped 6 of Survivor Token Chains. All right. What would you say is your favorite video we've released in the last month?
Our Minecraft movie review was only 38 minutes long. It's pretty short compared to some of our reviews.
That's a good amount of time to talk about Minecraft movie.
That's also, we get a surprisingly low reviews on that. Like we got more reviews for our 1937 Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. What did I say? Reviews.
Yeah.
We got more reviews for our review.
Yeah. So I think we released the Snow White 1937 review right as like Snow White 2025.
Oh, so some people were
out,
like, "Hey, wait, what is this?"
So that's why most of the views, like 150 views on that versus 66 on the Snow White 2025.
Yeah, it's not that. But the Minecraft movie, no one gives a crap about what we think. They just want to talk about the chicken jockey.
Yeah, I tried with the chicken jockey.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No one cares.
What's your favorite video?
My favorite video, I'm gonna say honestly, I think it was probably going through the funny 115 again. It was nice cracking that back open, and it's always a fun time. Always a good laugh.
Yeah, so, it was good talking with Blinkoom for the Gents Challenge, of course. But
yeah, that was a great wrap up episode, if I do say so myself.
I mean, meaty episode. Yeah. But I might agree. The funny 115.
Yeah.
I don't know. Though. So. All right, for the comments. Feel free to leave a comment on any of our videos, whether they've been released now or years ago. Whatever comments that come out over the month, we'll talk about at the end of the podcast, all right? Within reason. Up to our discretion.
Within reason, and also if there's Survivor spoiler related, we might not.
Yeah, so I have to skip through most of the Survivor ones because usually there's some hint of spoilers.
Yeah.
On our review of The Accused, 1988.
Okay. Interesting.
From Angela Graves. She says, "This is a good movie, but you're right, it's also very uncomfortable. It's loosely based on a real case, the victim of which was treated absolutely wretchedly by the perpetrators, the defense attorneys, and the community, who rallied around the perpetrators and even raised money to bail them out of jail, while the victim received death threats. The movie The Last Duel, 2021, with Jodie Comer, Matt Damon, and Adam Driver, has a similar theme.
Yep. Yes.
Oh,
Yep.
I didn't know
And
that.
that's based on a real. That's based on a real case as well. Yeah.
It's also based on an actual event in the 14th century.
Mm-hmm.
The last duel in chivalric France that was used to decide the guilt or innocence of the accused. It's a Rashomon-like story in which three people tell the story of the offense from three different POVs.
Rashomon.
It's a very good, very thought-provoking movie. There's an art installation that travels around the country called What Were You Wearing? It's the clothes victims of rape were wearing put on display to show that it doesn't matter WTF someone was wearing. As much as I'd like to believe that things have changed, I really don't think they have. And sadly, I think we're currently sliding back into a darker time where things of this nature are concerned. Okay. Very nice. Thank you for the comment.
Thanks for that. Yeah, no, it's yeah, that's true. I guess I knew, because I knew The Last Duel was based on that, was sort of based on that 14th century thing, but I didn't realize that it was sort of Rashomon sort of style in that, which is that's kind of interesting. And thanks for mentioning that about that art installation thing, because I think
that's cool.
I think that's really important. I think a lot of people need to be
because I'm sure it showcases what were you wearing. It's like literally any clothes you can think of.
Right.
So it speaks for itself.
Yeah. No, people that are that depraved, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they're evil. Like, it's just, at the end of the day, that's, it's an evil that people do.
The Accused is a good movie. It was a hard one to review because it's hard to recommend, really. For a lot of people, it would be a much harder watch as well. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ari Louie commented on our Minecraft movie review.
All right.
On our Minecraft movie review.
A Minecraft movie, yes.
You guys have to review School of Rock if Alex never seen it. Such a classic.
I've never seen it. Yeah.
One of my absolute favorites. The Holiday was the other movie he was referencing.
That's it. That's the name of it.
Actually, a really great movie, and one we always love watching around Christmas.
Yeah.
All right, let's use one of these automated comments to give me. They give you automatic comment options you can use to respond.
Really?
One of them is
like AI.
Yes. One of them is School of Rock is a good one. We'll make sure to add that to the list.
Wow. Okay.
The next one is agreed. School of Rock is a must watch. We'll get to that sometime in the future, I'm sure. Those are my two options. All right.
Lame. Well, lame AI.
Auto comment.
Thanks, autofill. Yeah.
Thank you for your comment. That's something cool, isn't it?
Whoa, radical.
I had never considered that before. We will consider that and keep that in mind moving forward.
Keep that in mind now. Thank you.
Yeah, these are actually good because they feel more personal. That's what's scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
School of Rock would be a great review.
School of Rock, yeah, no, that's definitely a must watch. My ex-girlfriend a decade ago now. That's crazy to think about. But she really liked The Holiday a lot.
Sydney from Survivor.
The one that looks like Sydney from Survivor. Whatever.
Yeah. Okay. So, School of Rock is one of my favorites. I love that.
Yeah, it's just one of those ones that kind of passed me by. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for the comments. All right.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
All right, and that's gonna do it for us here on the Tarqaron podcast.
Nice meaty Switch discussion, I think. So.
Well, that's a different podcast, and
the meaty Switch.
Yeah, we'll talk about. I don't know. The switch. Are we switches or are we doms? Subs?
Yeah.
We'll get into it.
I'm definitely not a sub. I'll tell you that. But
I just want that on the record.
I just want that on the record. I want the record to show I'm not
Oh, that's for damn sure. I'm not the sub.
that's what I'm sure.
I don't know what I am, but I ain't no sub.
I ain't no one of them.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right. Anyway, that's it. And appreciate
I like
you
sub
watching.
sandwiches though. That's what I like.
I bet. I
Yeah.
bet.
I bet you like those.
So until next time, that's it for us here on the Tarqaron universe. All right,
That's right.
I've been Zach, and he's been
The
Alec. Here we go.
Tarqaron universe. Whoa, crazy.
That's it for us over in the Tarqaron, the planet, the Tarqaron
The planet.
galaxy.
What's the castle, right?
No, we're
fortress
creating our own universe.
palace.
We got to expand
The Tarqaronverse.
Yeah, Tarqaron universe, because they're all connected when we do our Tarqaron All Stars, Survivor simulations, and the Tarqaron cards. Everything the videos touch are our kingdom. So
Okay, Mufasa.
yeah, so we got some stuff coming up next month. We got some
Yeah.
stuff that's going to be coming up, and Tarqaron All Stars. We might have done another Tarqaron All Stars by the time we're back. That's next month. So potentially by the time we do our next episode of the podcast, there'll be another one in the books. And among a lot of other stuff in the works. I will say, yeah, they did release the trailer for the new Naked Gun remake. That seems like it could be fun. I still don't know how it'll be, but a fun little teaser. And
Cool.
hopefully we'll be able to watch those movies leading up to it.
Yeah.
Right?
I think so.
And take care. All right.
Yeah, take care.